Hi, my name is Mutasim. Phonetically, that goes something like the cow goes moo to SIM card. Some people find that amusing sometimes, and they remember my name. Sometimes it doesn't work, but you know, I'm just trying it out. So I'll begin this interview with answer by answering the questions that CodePath set out for me. Um, so we're starting with the scenario questions. So the first question is, why are you interested in being a TA with CodePath? Um, well, in short, I believe and I want to advance CodePath's mission in eliminating educational inequity. As a minority student from a small liberal arts college, I definitely do feel the imposter syndrome, as I often don't feel like I belong, as my identity nor my technical abilities match those of others in the room. And I'm sure many of my peers feel the same. Actually, I do know this is an ongoing conversation we've had. So currently, as a senior computer science major and as the chair of outreach of VC++, Vassar College's only CS-oriented organization, I think I'm in a position to give back to my community and help level up my peers. Um, Being a CodePath TA for the technical interview prep course helps both me and my peers. CodePath's this particular prep course is already very enticing on paper. On top of that, if my peers see that I am TAing for this course, I believe it will encourage even more underclassmen from Vassar to enroll. More exposure to CodePad at Vassar will be great as more and more students discover the high quality learning opportunities in practical areas that CodePad has to offer. Not only this course, but many other courses such as iOS development, Android developer, and so on. These are things that the Vassar CS department does not offer, but these are also things that students have been asking for a lot. And personally, it'll be very beneficial for me as I'm preparing for full-time roles next year. I mean, I have to review all this material myself. Why not like teach and do it? Teaching is the best way to learn. Um, Thank you. And the next question is that if a small group of students all had their videos turned off and we're not talking, what would you do to engage the group? First of all, I would set expectations that students should have their videos on, but there are countless reasons why a student might not want their Zoom cameras on, and it's not for me to dispute the validity of those concerns. There are many things that we can do to engage students in such a situation. For example, like Zoom or like any other app we're using. I mean, we'll definitely be using Zoom. We can use the poll feature on Zoom. This is like an easy way to engage our students. Like I can have a poll on like make predictions on what the answer will be, or make predictions on what the how this test case will be evaluated by our algorithm, or maybe like predict the time complexity or spacing complexity of this approach. And maybe I can make a statement and then I'll put up a poll and ask like, do they agree or disagree with that statement? I believe having an interactive decision, like asking them questions, like does this make sense? How should we traverse this array, etc. If a student feels comfortable in answering and talking to me, they would definitely answer with their mics on. And who knows, maybe they can even turn on their video if they can. Thank you. And the next question is, if a student asked you a question you didn't know the answer to, what would you do? Well, depending on the circumstances, I can say that's a good question, a very interesting question. I haven't thought about it, but I don't want to give you a wrong answer. So I'll look into it. I can email or Slack you later, or you can meet me during my office hours. If I don't exactly know the answer, but I can think of where I can find a lead, I'll tell them something like, I don't know the details off the top of my head, but you want to look at site XYZ, like Stack Overflow, Math.Stack Exchange, so many things where they can find resources. And I'd be happy to show you where to find this after class. What I need to be mindful of is to respect the student's desire to learn. If I avoid the question or give them an answer that I know is like inadequate, then I'm deliberately being unhelpful. So like if I just admit defeat and be like, I don't know this question, while I'm being honest, the student isn't finding out the answer that they wanted to know. So if I respond to them by showing them like a roadmap to an answer, even if I can't supply the answer to them myself, the student won't be hesitant to ask me questions again. Thank you. The next question I have is, what is the most important thing that you want students to get out of taking this course? Well, more than anything else, I want students to get the confidence boost and practice that will help them ace technical interviews now and in their future career, just like the CodePath course says on the website. If they understand how to approach a technical coding problem, get familiarized with all the topics, then anytime in the future, they can quickly pick up this information again. I want them to understand that CodePath has many resources to help them, from resume, mock interviews to virtual career fairs. They should know that they aren't alone. As CodePath themselves said when I was taking the advanced section of this course, um, our goal for you is to come out of this class feeling challenged and more confident in your interviewing skills while also growing your professional network. And that's very important. Like growing professionally, having a network of students like your pod mates and everyone else is just so helpful. And lastly, the last question is explain the umpire method to a student who is about to have their first technical interview. So I would talk about what the umpire method is. So in a technical interview, an interviewer looks for many different signals in a candidate. Umpire allows you to showcase those signals, because being a good engineer is more than just writing the code and getting an answer. It's about the succinct thought process. So umpire is just abbreviated. The first step is U. U means understand. Sounds very obvious. So we need to make sure not to jump to conclusions. We should ask clarifying questions on input and outputs. We should make test cases. Now, these test cases will be very crucial to us, right? In this step and then later on, this is how we'll convince ourselves and the interviewer that our solution is correct. And something you need to remember is test cases shouldn't be like too simple, but they also shouldn't be too hard because it takes up too much time in the thought process. Then the next step is a match. So here you identify what type of problem you're solving. Is this a graph or a linked list problem? Um, when you're starting out, like you won't really know all the patterns, so you probably won't know what to do. So if you're shooting blank, then you can go through all the data structure knowledge and see which one fits the situation. For example, like if a question is about matching parentheses, then like if you need to make sure that the order of the parentheses are in the right way, and you can't just pop off the wait, I just gave a spoiler, but basically if we assess the data structures we knew, then we can figure out that in this question we might need a stack. Then comes the plan phase. So this is where we think about what techniques or patterns uh, like do we know that we can use with the type of problem that we just identified. So for example, if you know it's a graph problem, you can use DFS, BFS traversals. Here we'll also think about what auxiliary data structures do we need. Like, do we need a dictionary? Do we need some kind of memory to like store information that we need? Maybe like we need to access these things as we iterate through our given inputs. What's important is like to not finish the plan phase without like a thought developed algorithm. So implement the next phase and plan are very interconnected. Well, we want to have gone through the thinking process in the plan phase. Then in the implement phase, it'll be just like easy, like very easy, since you're a coder. It's just like it should be second nature. Like you have a plan, and then you literally like write the code from like the pseudocode you wrote. Um, the next step is review. So this is once you've had like thought through everything and also implemented your code. This is now this is a time where I said like the test cases will be helpful. This is the time where we use our test cases line by line and with our interviewer and see like verify if a test case is correct. This will give us confidence, and then this will also give off good signals to the interviewer that, hey, this person can think through a process and also use reasonable test cases to see if the solution is correct. And the last step is evaluate. So this is where you analyze the time and space complexity of your solution. Um, in the beginning, it might be hard to go through umpire in a linear fashion, but as you do more and more problems with this approach, you'll definitely get better at it. The best thing about Empire for me is that it keeps me calm. Like you can't control the type of question you get in an interview, but you can control how you react and behave. And like a methodical approach like Empire can definitely help you with that. Thank you.